Sony fans, we got some good news today. Sony got a beta test out for PlayStation 5 to get y'all M.2 slot working. And I mean, you got to join the beta program somehow. I don't know how to join the beta program actually, but you can get an update and you can download it. And then you can possibly fuck up your PlayStation 5 for a chance to get expanded storage. That sounds like a great ass fucking deal, but Sony's doing it. And they're expecting y'all, the community, to sacrifice y'all hard-earned PlayStation 5 to make sure this is working for the public. I mean, it's only doing y'all due diligence, bro. Like I beta test for Xbox all the time. There's a lot of people I know that does, but Sony's doing it different, bro. They are out here like we're hands off with this beta test. We don't care what happens to y'all, and it's crazy. And they put that on their own website. But let's get into the beta testing thing though, because it sounds it sounds way way worse than it should. Like even from their words, because you will see the slew of Sony news online, and people are just talking down on it, and uh I mean rightfully so, but still like it sounds worse from even when Sony says it, because they not sugarcoating anything, bro. They like fuck that, we're out of here. But here we go, beta testing the M.2 slot, and it's only available for beta testers. So what people don't know is that you have to be a beta tester on PlayStation 5 to get to use the M.2 slot. Cause people like, oh, M.2 is out, I'm gonna go buy one and slap it into my PlayStation 5. It's not that easy. And even if it was that easy, there's a lot of caveats. There's a lot of problems with the way Sony is doing this, but they are testing it. So I can't just instantly spell bad news for Sony, because this is in testing, and a lot of people are already throwing shade on them, and this is in testing, bro. So let's get to this. It's only for beta testers. They tell you what an M.2 is, like you're a fucking idiot. Hopefully you're not, but if you are, it explains it. If you're a beta tester, you don't know what a fucking M.2 is. It's an expandable storage, bro. Solid state. Slap that bitch into your console and get your shit going. Why add it? If you need to ask why, but they have to put this on there. This is tech support. This is tech support. You have to put that on there. You know, M.2. These are the requirements for the M.2, and we're gonna get into that caveat in just a fucking minute. But yeah, M.2's got to be either 250 to 4 terabytes. That's the max you can go for one SSD M.2 Gen 4 PCIe M.2 NVMe SSD. Lovely. We love the sound of that. Reading speed 5500 megabytes or faster is recommended. We're going to get into that because there's some bullshit going on over here. But it's in testing. It's in testing. So we have to remember that. Even with all this bullshit that Sony says, like this is in testing. They gonna smooth all this out before hopefully final release, and they have all this shit cleared up. But this is still in testing. And they tell you the measurements for it is a 3 socket key M. If you have a PC, it has those bars on there, how long your SSD can be. You slide it in there, you hit the screw on the thing, and you're good and dandy. Not as easy on PlayStation 5 though. We're gonna get into that. But this is the testing phase, and they're showing it 5500 megabytes or faster. Read speed, PlayStation 5 SSD, super fast, blinding fast. They love that thing. They put a whole lot of hard work in it. I don't like the soldered on part, but that's how they do it, and I think it's gonna bite them in the ass in the future. But that's how they going. And then cooling structure. Oh yeah, the cooling structure. So this is where things get interesting, because your PlayStation 5 M.2 is gonna require a cooling solution, and not all SSDs come with a cooling solution. So if you go out there and you buy an SSD, like a stick SSD, it meets all the requirements, but it doesn't have any cooling, and you fuck your system up, it's out of their hands. You require cooling for your own SSD. If that bitch get hot and start melting your fucking console, like they There's nothing they can do about it. Like you gotta get a heatsink. Either you gotta put a heatsink on yourself, or you get one that comes with a heatsink. But there's caveats to that too. We're gonna get to it. You have to read the whole list, bro. We gotta read the whole list. So they tell you the cooling structures, how small they can be, and all the requirements, more sizes and measurements. You have to really go and go to hardware like Best Buy and wherever the hell you get your PC parts. Talk to manufacturers. You really got to go in here and find the perfect size SSD because Sony's not doing that shit for you. They're not doing it for you. You got to do this shit yourself. But it's in beta testing though. So by the end of this beta test, they should have the quote unquote list that they said they would have when this supposed to came at launch. But we don't know what happened with all that. And then height requirements, size requirements, all that. And then it goes to showing what SSDs can look like with heat sinks on them. And this is a one-sided heatsink. I mean, this is built-in heatsink. This is the one-sided heatsink. Then they have two-sided heatsinks. So they're giving you like general like displays of what the heatsink should look like in their M.2 thing. But what about the ones that just have an M.2 thing where you're going to be fucked because it doesn't have, adequate heat reduction on there? And your shit is going to get hot and it's not going to fucking work properly. And then, SATA SSDs are not supported. SATAs are the big brick looking ones that go in SSDs. They have the little port thing. I mean, they go into PCs. Like M.2s and SATAs are completely different structures. So I understand you can't just slap a fucking SATA SSD into that lit ass port and it works. It's understandable. They have to put that disclosure though, because people go out there and buy a fat ass SATA SSD and like, I'm gonna just put this on my PlayStation. No, it's not gonna fucking work. But carefully reviewing drive specifications prior to purchase and contact vendors. See, they want you to do all this information, find it for yourself. So when you find a good one and it worked, Sony logs that, put it on the fucking list. They can tell all their customers when this comes out of beta. Smart, Sony. Don't do the work yourself. Let the people do the work for you. Sony Interactive Entertainment cannot guarantee that all M.2 SSD drives meeting the described specifications will work in your console or assume no responsibility for the selection, performance, use of third-party products. So if you do this, it's in beta, and something happens, they don't get no fuck. It's not in their hands. It's in yours. It's like you chose it. You chose it. Third-party products, and you have to think. Microsoft made a first-party product, and people went to shit. But Sony said you have to use third-party products. You can use third-party products, and it's going to be lovely. And you can go buy your own. Prices are going to be fluctuating up and down. But they don't take responsibility for what happens when you use a third-party product. That's how they get you, Brody. Let's keep going. Not all games are necessarily playable with the exact speed performance provided by the PlayStation 5's SSD. So even if your M.2 has read speeds faster than 5,500 megabytes, the PlayStation 5 will slow that bitch on purpose. So it will be faster. What? When I read that, I was like, really? So even if your SSD is faster, it would run slower than the internal SSD. They don't say why. It just says like, hey, not all games are gonna run right, even if your SSD is faster. It's not gonna run right. Put it on the PlayStation 5 SSD. This is just for extra storage, I guess. And I'm like, all right, it's in beta. They got to test that out. They got to smooth it out. They got to work on it. Hopefully it doesn't stay like that. And he sinks very greatly. So not all the SSDs that meet the requirements are going to fit because heat sinks are big and sometimes they won't fit in the slot. Like, it's very complicated to find a perfect one and to get that shit in. And then, moving games, all that. And then, yeah, you have to, like, format the SSD. The requirement things that you need before you do it. You need a well-lit room on a table. Open that bitch up, get you a fill, get you a flashlight if you need it, even though you're in a well lit room. Still bring that flashlight. It's optional. You slap that bitch in there, but you gotta make sure you update your console before you slap a SSD in, or you might crash that bitch and it might not work no more. And then yeah, you have to update. Removing it is another thing, but it's kind of like putting it in just in reverse. You know, they got to put it in there though. And installing games on there, you got to do the format thing. You have to format it and all that, and it's good and all. But for these beta testers, they're putting their life on the line. Their PlayStation 5 is on the line for y'all to get these SSDs working. And Sony's not gonna give them no help, even if they find something wrong. Sony's like, you're on your own with the third party products. But it's not all bad. It's not all bad because our great friends at Seagate, who created the proprietary Xbox Series X SSD, they're coming through for PlayStation fans with the get off my screen, bro. With the Farracuda, bro. The Farracuda. They're coming. The Farracuda is coming, bro. And they got one. And they said this is perfect for the PlayStation 5. But that bitch is gonna be expensive. Like, it's gonna be expensive. And they're not coming out until next month, I think. But yeah, Farracuda is here. They got 500, they got 1 terabyte, 2 terabytes, 4 terabytes. All the requirements for PlayStation 5, they said it's going to fit perfectly. It got read speeds up to 7,300 megabytes. PlayStation 5 is going to slow that down, so you don't even have to worry about the speed. They're going to cook that bitch, and it's going to be slower. Oh yeah, this one don't have the pricing on there, do it? Because the price is expensive. Oh no, this is not the article with the pricing on there. But yeah, the prices are actually pretty high. Cause like the 1 terabyte version of the Farracuda for PlayStation 5 when it launches next month, I think it launches in August, doesn't it? I forget when this bitch comes out. I think it says it on here, doesn't it? Yeah, it launches in August. So in August is when this comes out. So, in a couple of weeks, maybe it might be in the stores. Hopefully scalpers don't snatch them all. So then people have to struggle to get one. Beta testers need to test these things. But, yeah, the 1 terabyte Farracuda is like $275. And people were shitting on Xbox at launch for having a 1 terabyte for $220. And they like, that's a lot. But your PlayStation 5 SSD is going to be $275 for 1 terabyte, bro. And we get that standard at launch. Like, we've already had one for $220. So like, I don't know. They gonna have to smooth all this out. By the time it comes out to everybody, to the public, hopefully all this is fixed. And then I will reserve judgment for how shit PlayStation 5 is built until then. But right now, this is all we have. And beta testers, prayers goes out to y'all. Hopefully it doesn't fuck y'all system up too bad trying to test this bunk ass product of a PlayStation 5. But they went with the design. They went with the evasive maneuvers to install. See, what I like about the Xbox is that bitch is a console. It's simple. It's built to be simple. It looks simple. It plays simple. UI is simple. Everything's so simple about it. You just turn that bitch on. You play games. You turn it off. Lovely. Lovely. I got a PC. That bitch is complicated. I open it up. I gotta clean it. I gotta check parts to make sure they're not wearing out. There's a lot of management. And PlayStation 5 is falling into that PC boat. Like, you gotta make sure it's not wearing out. You gotta make sure your SSD slot is working properly. Like, it's crazy. Xbox's SSD slaps right into the motherboard, bro. They made a slot for it. You plug in the card, slaps right into the motherboard, matches speed every time. What Microsoft needs to do is make bigger ones. Because my 1 terabyte is doing well. I still got a terabyte of space left. So like, I'm not hurting on space. I've got 80 some games installed. Still got a terabyte of space left. Not too worried about space on the Xbox. But PlayStation fans are really hurting out here. And the prices and the way Sony's going about this is gonna hurt their fans even harder until they get all this tested out. I wish this beta test thing didn't come out to the public though, because this just made it look worse. So now everybody's already scared of the PlayStation 5's SSD port, and it's in beta test because of the shit way that Sony put it out, and the and the coverage is getting online. The feedback is getting online. Is pushing a whole lot of people away, and it's like, yeah, it sounds bad, but it's not as bad as it should be. I mean, as it would be. Sony just made it sound even fucking worse with all those disclaimers that we're not gonna help you if shit goes wrong. Like, that's the thing, bro. It really pushed that. But that's gonna be it for this one. So thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe if you're new. If you're a beta tester, let me know down below how it is to beta test for PlayStation. I never did it before. I beta test for Xbox, so we can talk about this in the comments. And I'll see y'all in the next video.